Welcome back to Fix It Fast, the podcast by Max Appliance Repair, where we help you get those appliances back on track. You know, last time we tackled those ovens that just wouldn't quit?
The ones staying on when they should be off?
Yeah, exactly. But today, we're diving into a whole different beast, the dishwasher that decides to take a break mid-cycle.
Oh, yeah.
It's frustrating, right?
Absolutely. A sudden stop can mean soggy dishes, schedule chaos, and a whole lot of head scratching. But fear not, we're here to decode those dishwasher dramas and arm you with the knowledge to get things flowing again.
So imagine this. You load up the dishwasher after a delicious meal hits start, and bam, mid-cycle it just stops. Before we even start digging into the control panel or anything like that, what's the first thing you would check?
Well, before we tear the dishwasher apart, let's start with the basics. It's like when your computer freezes, you try restarting it before assuming the hard drive is fried.
Right.
The same applies here. Sometimes the simplest solution is the right one.
Okay, I like where this is going. So walk me through those initial checks.
First, check your breaker panel. A tripped breaker is a common culprit, and it's an easy fix. If that's not, take a look at the dishwasher's power cord. Any damage like fraying or cuts could be interrupting the power supply. While you're back there, why not test the outlet itself using another device like a lamp to rule that out?
All right, those are some quick and painless checks. But what if the power's fine and the dishwasher's still giving us the silent treatment?
Next up is the door latch. That little mechanism has a big job. It keeps the dishwasher sealed tight during the wash cycle. Think of it as a safety feature. If the latch is misaligned, damaged, or just worn out, the dishwasher might sense that the door isn't properly closed and stop mid-cycle to prevent any leaks.
That makes sense. So how do we investigate the door latch?
A visual inspection is your best friend here. Check if the latch is lining up correctly with the strike plate. That's the metal piece on the dishwasher frame that the latch hooks onto. Look for any obvious signs of damage or wear and tear.
So it is just a matter of realignment. Could we adjust it ourselves?
Sometimes a simple adjustment does the trick. But I can't stress this enough. If you're unsure or uncomfortable messing with the latch mechanism, call a professional. Mixing water and electricity is a recipe for disaster, and we want to keep you safe.
Great point. Safety always comes first. Now let's say we've ruled out power issues and the door latch is secure, but we're still stuck in dishwasher limbo. What's next on our detective list?
This might seem obvious, but since it is a dishwasher, water is our next suspect. Water woes are a common cause of mid-cycle stoppages. We need to make sure water is getting in and out properly.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's break down the water troubleshooting process. Where do we begin?
Let's start with the filters. You wouldn't believe the gunk that can accumulate in there. Food particles, bits of paper, even tiny shards of glass. They can really choke the water flow.
So cleaning those filters regularly is a must.
Absolutely. It's like changing the air filter in your car. Simple maintenance that can prevent big problems down the road.
Filters are checked and sparkling clean. What's next on our water checklist?
Let's move on to the water inlet valve. This little guy controls the flow of water into the dishwasher. If it's faulty or clogged, it can restrict the water supply, causing the dishwasher to stop mid-cycle.
So what should we be looking for with the water inlet valve?
Visually inspect it for any signs of damage, mineral buildup, or debris. You might need to replace it if it's beyond repair.
Got it. Now, what about the water pressure in general? Could that be impacting the dishwasher's performance?
You bet. Low water pressure can be a real party pooper for your dishwasher. To check if this is the culprit, run some water at other faucets in your house. If the pressure seems weak everywhere, it could be a plumbing issue affecting your entire house.
Okay, we've covered water flowing in and end, but what about the water flowing OUT? Could drainage be the issue?
Definitely. Just like a clogged sink can cause water to back up, drainage issues can bring your dishwasher to a standstill. And just like with the filters, the drain itself can get clogged with all sorts of debris.
So another round of cleaning might be in order.
Exactly. Also check the drain hose for any kinks or blockages. Sometimes it's something as simple as a bent hose that's restricting the water flow.
All right, so we've checked the drain and the hose. Anything else we should be looking at in terms of drainage?
Let's not forget the drain pump. It's the muscle that pushes that dirty water out of your dishwasher. If the pump is malfunctioning, water can build up inside, triggering a mid-cycle shutdown.
And I'm guessing that fixing a drain pump is probably a job for a professional.
You got it.
Right.
Drain pump issues often require specialized tools and expertise.
Okay, so we've covered the power supply, the door latch, and the water coming in and going out. Those seem like the most obvious things to check. But what if we've ruled all those out and the dishwasher is still acting up?
That's when we have to dive a little deeper into the inner workings of your dishwasher. It's time to consider those components that don't always get the spotlight, the ones that work behind the scenes to keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so we've covered the basics. Power, door latch, water in, water out. But you mentioned diving deeper into the inner workings of the dishwasher. What are we talking about here?
Well, modern dishwashers are pretty sophisticated machines. They're packed with sensors that monitor everything from water temperature to how dirty the water is. And just like any electronic component, these sensors can malfunction, causing all sorts of problems.
Sensors, huh? So it's not always a mechanical issue that's causing the dishwasher to act up.
Exactly. Think of it this way. The sensors are the eyes and ears of your dishwasher. They're constantly sending information to the control panel, which acts as the brain telling it what to do next. If the sensors are sending faulty information, the control panel can get confused, leading to a mid-cycle shutdown.
Okay, I'm starting to understand the role of sensors. Can you give me some examples of the types of sensors that could cause problems?
Sure. Let's start with the temperature sensor. This little guy monitors the water temperature to ensure it's hot enough for effective cleaning and sanitizing. If the temperature sensor is malfunctioning, the dishwasher might think the water is too cold and stop heating, even if it's actually scorching hot.
So a faulty temperature sensor could actually be a safety hazard.
You got it. That's why it's so important to address any sensor issues promptly. Now, another common culprit is the water level sensor. This sensor makes sure the dishwasher has the right amount of water for each cycle.
That makes sense. I can see how having too much or too little water could mess things up.
Exactly. And if the water level sensor is giving faulty readings, the dishwasher might overfill or underfill, causing a mid-cycle shutdown.
Okay, so we've got temperature sensors and water level sensors. Are there any other sensors that we should be aware of?
Oh, there are a few more. Some dishwashers have turbidity sensors, which measure the cloudiness of the water to determine how dirty it is. And then there are optical soil sensors, which use light to detect food particles in the water.
Wow, dishwashers are way more high-tech than I realized. So if we suspect a sensor issue, is that something we can troubleshoot ourselves?
Sensor issues can be tricky to diagnose and repair without the right tools and expertise. If you've ruled out the basics and you're still stumped, it's best to call in a professional.
All right, that makes sense. Now, speaking of brains and control centers, what about the control panel itself? Could that be the source of our dishwasher woes?
Absolutely. The control panel is the command center of your dishwasher. It receives information from those sensors we talked about and sends signals to all the different components telling them what to do.
So if the control panel is malfunctioning, it could really throw things off.
You bet. A faulty control board can lead to all sorts of strange behavior. Buttons that don't respond, lights that blink erratically, and of course those dreaded mid-cycle shutdowns.
Okay, so what are some signs that the control panel might be the culprit?
Well, if you notice any strange behavior with the display, like numbers that are flickering or buttons that aren't registering, that could be a red flag.
So if the control panel is acting up, is that something we can fix ourselves?
Sometimes a simple reset can do the trick. Unplug the dishwasher for a few minutes, then plug it back in and see if that clears things up. You can also check for any loose connections behind the control panel, but if it's something more serious, like a fried circuit board, you'll want to call a professional.
All right, that's good to know. Now, before we move on to other potential problems, I want to address something that I think a lot of us are guilty of: overloading the dishwasher. Could that be contributing to these mid-cycle stops?
Overloading the dishwasher is a classic mistake, and yes, it can definitely lead to problems. When the dishwasher is crammed full of dishes, the water and detergent might not be able to circulate properly, leading to poor cleaning and potential malfunctions.
So it's not just about getting everything to fit. We need to think about how we're loading the dishes.
Absolutely. Make sure the spray arms can spin freely without hitting any dishes. Don't block the detergent dispenser and avoid stacking dishes on top of each other.
Okay, I'm getting a visual of a perfectly organized dishwasher. No more cramming and hoping for the best.
Exactly. A well-loaded dishwasher is a happy dishwasher, and a happy dishwasher means sparkling clean dishes for you.
That's what we like to hear. Now, we've talked about a lot of mechanical and electrical components, but could something as simple as the water itself be causing problems?
You'd be surprised how much the water quality can impact your dishwasher's performance. If you have hard water, that is, water with a high mineral content, it can lead to mineral buildup inside your dishwasher, causing all sorts of issues.
So hard water can actually damage the dishwasher.
It can definitely contribute to wear and tear. Those mineral deposits can clog spray arms, reduce washing efficiency, and even lead to corrosion over time.
Okay, so what can we do about hard water? Do we need to install a whole house water softener?
A whole house water softener is a great option if you have very hard water, but for most people, using a rinse aid can make a big difference. Rinse aids are designed to prevent those hard water spots and streaks on your dishes, and they also help to keep the dishwasher itself clean.
Rinse aid noted. Any other water-related wisdom?
Just be mindful of the water temperature. Ideally, the water entering your dishwasher should be around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's too cold, the detergent might not dissolve properly, leading to poor cleaning.
Okay, so we've covered power latch, water sensors, control panel overloading, and even water quality. It feels like we've explored every nook and cranny of dishwasher troubleshooting.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground, but, beyond just fixing those mid-cycle stops, there are things we can do to prevent those dishwasher dramas in the first place. It's all about preventative maintenance, giving your dishwasher a little TLC to keep it running smoothly.
Preventative maintenance. I like the sound of that. What kind of TLC are we talking about?
Well, for starters, those filters we talked about earlier, they need regular cleaning, like really getting in there and scrubbing away all that gunk.
And we know those filters can get pretty nasty.
Oh, yeah, they see a lot of action. Don't just rinse them off. Take the time to really clean them, removing any trapped food particles or debris. A toothbrush can be a handy tool for this task.
Toothbrush for the dishwasher filter noted. What else is on the preventative maintenance checklist?
It's a good idea to run an empty dishwasher with a cup of vinegar every month or so.
Vinegar. Really?
Trust me on this one. Vinegar helps break down mineral buildup and grime, keeping your dishwasher fresh and happy.
Okay, I'm adding vinegar to my dishwasher shopping list. Any other preventative tips to share?
This one might seem obvious, but it's worth repeating. Use the right detergent. Using a good quality dishwasher detergent that's formulated for your machine can make a world of difference.
Makes sense. And what about those spray arms? We talked about making sure they can spin freely when we're loading the dishwasher.
Right.
But do they need any special cleaning?
Absolutely. Those spray arms can get clogged with food particles and mineral deposits. Give them a good cleaning every now and then to ensure they're spraying water effectively.
Okay, filters, vinegar detergent, spray arms. Got it. Anything else we can do to keep our dishwashers humming along happily?
Well, every now and then it's a good idea to give the inside of the dishwasher a good wipe down. You'd be surprised how much grime and buildup can accumulate in there. A damp cloth with a little bit of dish soap will do the trick.
Ooh, yeah, that doesn't sound fun. But a clean dishwasher is a happy dishwasher, right?
Exactly. And a happy dishwasher means sparkling, clean dishes for you.
That's what we like to hear. So we've covered a lot of ground here, troubleshooting those mid-cycle stops, preventative maintenance loading tips. It feels like we've empowered our listeners to become dishwasher whisperers.
I'd say we're well on our way, but there's one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap things up. It's all about those sounds and smells. Those subtle cues that your dishwasher might be trying to tell you something's not quite right.
Sounds and smells, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, think of it as your dishwasher's way of communicating. If you start hearing strange noises, grinding, rattling, anything out of the ordinary, it could be a sign of a problem brewing.
So don't just ignore those weird noises.
Exactly. And the same goes for any unusual smells. A musty or burnt smell could indicate a problem that needs attention.
Okay, so pay attention to those sensory cues. What should we do if we notice something off?
Well, the best course of action is to stop using the dishwasher and investigate further.
Yeah.
Try to pinpoint where that noise or smell is coming from. If you can't figure it out, don't hesitate to call a professional. It's always better to err on the side of caution.
Solid advice. And, while we're on the topic of being proactive,
I have a feeling you're about to drop another gem of wisdom.
well, it's all about staying informed. It's worth familiarizing yourself with your dishwasher's user manual.
Oh, yeah, that often ignored booklet.
Exactly. But it's a treasure trove of information about your specific model troubleshooting tips, maintenance guidelines, even part numbers if you need to order replacements.
Speaking of resources, you know where to find a ton of helpful articles and videos on all things appliance repair?
Let me guess, the Max Appliance Repair blog.
You got it.
I was just about to say that. We've got a whole section dedicated to dishwashers. Common problems, troubleshooting tips, maintenance advice, you name it, it's there.
We even have a step-by-step guide on how to clean those filters we were talking about, complete with pictures.
Perfect for those visual learners.
Absolutely. We try to make appliance repair as easy and accessible as possible. Because let's face it, nobody wants to spend their free time wrestling with a broken dishwasher.
Exactly. All right, listeners, you heard it here. Check out the Max Appliance Repair blog for even more dishwasher wisdom.
We're here to help you keep those kitchens running smoothly. Now, before we move on to our final thoughts,
I feel like we've covered almost everything when it comes to dishwashers. Is there anything else we should be aware of?
Well, one thing that often gets overlooked is the importance of understanding your dishwasher's cycles.
You mean like heavy duty versus normal wash?
Exactly. Most dishwashers have a variety of cycles, each designed for different types of loads. The heavy-duty cycle is great for those really greasy pots and pans, think lasagna night or a big family feast.
Makes sense. I guess using the heavy duty cycle for everything would be overkill.
You got it. It uses more water and energy than necessary. For everyday dishes, the normal cycle is usually sufficient. And for those delicate items like wine glasses or fine china, there's usually a delicate cycle that uses lower water pressure and gentler washing action.
So matching the cycle to the dishes is key.
Absolutely. Not only will your dishes get cleaner, but you'll also extend the life of your dishwasher. And speaking of getting things clean, let's talk about the detergent dispenser for a moment.
I'm all ears. What's the insider scoop on detergent dispensers?
You'd be surprised how many people don't realize that the detergent dispenser needs regular cleaning. Over time, detergent residue can build up and clog the dispenser, preventing the detergent from releasing properly.
So another cleaning task to add to our list.
Exactly. Just give it a quick scrub with a brush and some warm, soapy water every now and then.
Okay, and you mentioned pre-washing earlier. I thought the whole point of a dishwasher was to avoid pre-washing.
I know it seems counterintuitive, but hear me out. Pre-washing those heavily soiled dishes, like pots and pans with caked-on food, can actually help your dishwasher run more efficiently. Those big chunks of food can clog the filter and spray arms, reducing cleaning performance.
So it's about striking a balance, letting the dishwasher do its job, but giving it a little help when needed.
You got it. Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into the world of dishwashers, I want us to emphasize the importance of being proactive. Don't wait until your dishwasher breaks down to start paying attention to it.
What are some things we can do to be more proactive?
Well, we talked about preventative maintenance earlier, cleaning the filters, running a vinegar cycle, that sort of thing. But it's also about being observant. Listen to your dishwasher. Look for any changes in its performance.
Changes like what?
If it's suddenly making strange noises, grinding, rattling, humming, that could be a sign of a problem brewing. And the same goes for any unusual smells. A musty or burnt smell could indicate a problem that needs attention.
So pay attention to those subtle cues our dishwashers might be trying to tell us something.
Exactly. And if you notice anything out of the ordinary, don't ignore it. Investigate further. Check the user manual for troubleshooting tips. And if you're still stumped, don't hesitate to call a professional.
All right, folks, you heard it here. Be proactive, pay attention, and don't be afraid to call for help when needed. Any final words of wisdom before we sign off?
Just remember, your dishwasher is an amazing appliance that can save you a ton of time and effort. By understanding how it works and giving it a little TLC, you can ensure a long and happy partnership and avoid those dreaded mid-cycle breakdowns.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this dishwasher deep dive. Listeners, we hope you've learned a thing or two about keeping those kitchens clean and efficient.
Thanks for tuning in. And remember, if you ever run into any appliance trouble, the team at Max Appliance Repair is just a phone call away.
Until next time, keep those dishes sparkling and those dishwashers humming.